Hello Sagittarius, it's February 4th. We're going to be talking about the Mercury retrograde and the Mars. Mars goes out of bounds. You're going to want to know what this is going to mean for you, where it happens in your life. Why does it matter? Mercury is how we think, how we communicate, our talking. Mercury is our business. Mercury is social media. Mercury is marketing. Mercury is trade. Okay, Mars is what we're passionate about, what our drive, what our desires are, things that we will fight for, things that we can sometimes be impulsive about. Mars goes out of bounds. What does that mean? We're going to get into that, and we're going to also dive deeper by talking about what happens when we're in a Mercury retrograde, not just going backwards, which means rethinking, but it's in Pisces, which is water. Mercury is air, so it slows the thinking. And it's happening while Mars is out of bounds. So let's find out what that's going to look like right here, right now. Okay, Mars, out of bounds. I'm going to give you degrees and I'm going to give you dates. Okay, this is going to be important because you want to know what area of your life you may be more impulsive. You may go from 0 to 10 within seconds and kind of snap off on people or on yourself. It may be a time when you are being a little bit more harder on yourself. Recognize Mars also represents our physical body, okay? It rules the first house. It is the ascendant. That's how we are able to get up in the morning, because it's the Mars energy that says, get your butt out of bed, let's go, we got to rock and roll, we got stuff to do. All right, the show is on. Mars energy, it's going to be going out of bounds. It's in your sign, Sagittarius, at 25 degrees. This is a big deal, more so in the initial stage at the 25 degree mark, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. See if you have any degrees there, okay? See if you have any planets, I should say, at those degrees, or see if you have, you know, like your ascendant at that mark, which you could have, all right, without getting too technical into astrology. There's a possibility that you have your Sagittarian energy split between your first house and your 12th house. All right, if you're not sure about any of this, or if you're new here, just comment your digits down below. We hook you up, all right? People who contribute get a free chart. So with that said, I'm gonna try to explain all this a little bit deeper, okay? Mars becomes very impulsive and becomes very reactionary, less thinking. Mars, already being a less thinking being, all right, is going to be further inhibited because Mercury, our thinking, is going to be slowed, all right? Mercury, think of Mercury as a being that is in the air flying and has information and takes it very quickly, like lightning, from one place to the next, like the Pony Express of the air, right? That's Mercury, flying to and from with information, with details, all right? When it goes into the water, it goes down. It's in the water, right? Or it's flying in the air and there's a thunderstorm and lightning. Its wings get wet. So what does Mercury have to do? It has to stop till the storm passes. So it's slowed down. The information is slower, and many times the information isn't all there because of the Piscean effect. Other than being wet, the waters that it's in are murky, you know, just, it's like smog. What is smog? It's air that comes through. It's worse than fog. It's like polluted air. You can't see through it. It's thick, it's dense, and it affects the way you see. You know, it bothers your eyes. You can't see clearly. You're not sure what you're looking at. You're like, hey, can somebody else take a look at this? I can't get a read on this. What is this, right? This is Mercury slowed down, and its vision, its eyes being covered in Pisces. Now, when your thinking is slowed down, or the information that you're getting isn't 100% all there, even though it might be presented as these are the facts, this is all the information there is, here's the report, it's going to be lacking. There's going to be things missing. Details will be not present. Or if they're present, you won't be able to see them. For some reason, this is how this works. Our thinking and our vision gets just all convoluted and all gets mixed up, and it's a time of confusion. Confusion is a good word for this time. Now, typical Mercury retrogrades, they're different depending upon what sign they're transiting through, okay? Mercury by nature is very quick moving. So when it goes through this watery sign, it literally takes 30 days, which Mercury especially in air signs, it moves even faster, all right? So this is just to help you to realize it's not just a matter of getting information slow, but it's also the information that we get can also be only half pieces of information, which we all know that equals misinformation, right? Oh, I just kind of left a little bit of this out and a little bit of that, and it becomes this, you know, a nightmare of crap, not fact. So we want to be careful of that. Now for the Sagittarius ascendants, Sagittarius risings, getting back to the Mars thing, Mars snapping off, being in your first house, finding out where those degrees are. The first few days, I'm going to give you some dates when Mars begins. It's out of bound nature. It's on February 9th, so it's not far away. Remember, the full moon is also February 9th, February. Okay, that's why this whole time is very interesting. There is a full moon video out that I've already done. If you haven't watched it, I'll put the link below so that you can refer to that, because I don't want to spend this video talking about the full moon. But I can tell you where it happens. For Sagittarius, Sag rising, it's at 20 degrees Leo. 20 degrees Leo will likely be in your 9th house, but find out, go by the degree, 20 degrees Leo, okay? Just let me write down here that I need to leave a quick note for the Leo full moon for the Sag video so that you guys can look at that if you need to, if you don't know about it. Normally full moons shed a light on something and they bring information. It's very also intense energy. It's a fiery full moon because it's in Leo, right? And Leo goes from 0 to 10 as well. So we got fiery emotions. This will be trining Mars, by the way, right? Mars at 25 degrees. So these are trines, which is a good thing. Trines typically add ease, but it still will be very fiery. And well, although we need fire to keep warm, it can burn, right? Yes, it can still burn. So you just want to be aware of where things are in your chart and if it squares anything, okay? And if you're not sure, like I said, comment your stuff. I'll help you figure that out. On your ascendant, in your first house, Sagittarius, having Mars there will really give you an energetic boost. Okay, Mars has already been there. So this has already happened likely, right? Depending upon the degree. Because it's going to be at this 24, 25 degree mark, that means the previous degrees have been 23 degrees. Mars has been in Sag for a while. So you already know this. But just keep in mind this out of bounds nature. In conjunction, right, while it's happening, at the same time, while our information, okay, our vision, our clarity is clouded by the Neptunian waters. So you see how this is like a recipe that could be for disaster if we're not aware of, well, I might not be hearing everything that really is. There might be pieces of the truth that are left out of this, and it doesn't necessarily mean deliberately, because all of us are having our eyes covered when our Mercury is in Neptune. It's in Pisces, okay? I have some dates for when the overlapping becomes the worst. First off, the Mercury retrograde goes from February 17th to March 9th, and here's the other kitty cat. Taffy came in the other video, now here's Zoe. And February 17th to March 9th, it travels from 13 degrees Pisces back to 28 degrees of Aquarius. And at that point, she starts to go direct, okay? Mars does this out of bounds stuff February 9th to March 3rd, okay? Those are the dates right there. February 9th to March 3rd is when it's most extreme. It's when you've got Mercury retrograding, she's in the water, things are unclear, and when you've got Mars being very reactive, going from 0 to 10 like in an instant. And it can be dangerous, okay? And we all want to be careful because we don't want to say things that are hurtful. Now, let me tell you where the Mercury retrograde happens for you, Sag risings, Sag ascendant. You're going to have your Piscean energy in your 4th house, okay? So this is important to know, all right? Very important to know, because we have Venus in Pisces right now. We've got Neptune in Pisces right now. So far, very idealistic / could be unrealistic energy about things in the home, right? Our dreams, our wishes, hopes, our desires of what we want our home to be like, okay? You want it to be very peaceful, right? It should be a place of existence where we can all get along, right? When Mercury gets there, Mercury starts to cloud that even more, okay? So you want to be careful, especially around Valentine's Day. I didn't include it on all the videos, but I will say it here. Recognize that for this Valentine's Day, because all this energy is happening during that time, this is a time when Venus, she'll be leaving Pisces energy actually, and she'll be going into Aries. Well, she becomes very independent in Aries, because Aries is very, going it solo, I'm the leader, I take the front, I lead, individuality. Venus does do that, but she also is trying to follow her own desires. At the same time, Mars, being out of bounds, is doing its own thing, and it's actually going to go into 10 degrees, it's going to travel to Capricorn. So this is a time like February and March. We've got Venus and Mars where it's kind of like taking separate vacations. Okay, I know I already did a whole video on that. If you haven't watched it, you would probably want to watch it so that there's nobody having hurt feelings, because prior to Valentine's Day, it may sound different, okay? The cues that we're getting from people, the notes, the text messages may be very different. So I'm asking you to be very logical and rational. Make sure that what you think, you actually have tangible things to back it up. To say, hey, well, this person, I think they love me because of this. You know, not so much by someone's words, but by their deeds, right, folks? Let's be smart. Now, this is not to say that there's people listening who don't know what the hell they're talking about, or that there's people who are being misleading. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying this is a confusing time, and we want to make certain that we don't make any decisions during a confusing time, especially if we're under Neptune's impression, right? Our Neptune's dreamy impression of how things are right now. So I have some dates where you can get clarity. I was hoping to have had this published like by no later than the 3rd. Unfortunately, now this is always going to eat the rest of my papers that Taffy didn't get to eat. What I want to do is give you a window. It's a very small window of if you have to make a decision, if you have to sign anything, if you have to agree to anything. I want you to do it during a time when you're very clear thinking, okay, where you have your wits about you. And if you can't have your wits about you, you at least have trusted people surrounding you, people you can counsel and say, hey, take a look at this for me. I need an objective pair of eyes, all right? Trusted people, remember, not new people, trusted people, people you have history with who have proven themselves to be trustworthy. If you do not have individuals like that in your life, your clearest moments would have been, honestly, the first two days of February. After that, your next clearest days are going to be March 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, and 14th. So from March 10th to the March 14th is a time when I personally, if I had to commit to something, or if I had to sign something, or if I needed to take a test, somebody even asked, and that's a really good point too, because it's clear thinking, right? Wait, if you can delay it, then delay it, reschedule it, ask for an extension, to do that kind of stuff between those dates. And if you can't, if they won't allow that, or if that window of time is unrealistic for you for whatever reason in your life, then extend it beyond, you know, at a better date and time. And well, just comment below and I'll tell you when that is, because I would have to look at your chart individually, because what happens is then Mercury goes back into Pisces, and then it takes 30 days for her to sluggishly chug through Pisces. Normally, Mercury can travel like almost 2 degrees in one day, right? So that would mean she's in a sign for roughly between 15 to 20 days. Once she goes through Pisces, it takes a full 30 days because it's slow. But then after that, she gets into Aries. So she is more independent thinking, but it's also a sense of making decisions and getting information, being more impulsive, because that's what Aries is, very impulsive, quick to judge, quick to snap off. It's ruled by Mars, leaping before looking, okay? So our thinking is very quick. We're very quick to make a decision when Mercury goes into Aries. So again, there's other things in your chart that can balance this and help it out. So what you want to do, like I said before, is just, you know, if you need to, let me know, and I'll help you to further navigate those waters. With that said, I think that ends this video, and I'll be sure to attach the other videos for you. So we are out, Sag, Ascendant, Sag Rising. Bye.